Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever stopped to think about the decades you've paid into Social Security and wondered, will I ever get back everything I've contributed? It's a question worth asking, especially considering that Social Security isn't just a retirement bonus. It's a crucial income source for millions of Americans. In fact, for millions of Americans, it is the foundation of their financial stability in retirement. So you want to make sure that you maximize the benefits you've worked so hard to earn. Social Security operates as a pay-as-you-go system, where it's today's workers who are paying into the program, which is ultimately paying out benefits to today's retirees. And the whole sustainability of the program depends on having more workers than retirees. And this is a dynamic that's becoming increasingly challenging. In 1935, when Social Security was established, there were 150 workers to support each retiree. By 1950, that number dropped to 16 workers per retiree. Today, it's just 2.3 workers per retiree, underscoring the program's funding challenges. Funding concerns aside, most people have the question of, I've paid into the system, so will I get my benefits? And the fact of the matter is, most people do receive more in Social Security payouts than they paid into the system, especially once you factor in spousal benefits, survivor benefits, cost of living adjustments, and the employer share of contributions to the program. But simply because it's the case that most people get more out of Social Security than they actually paid into it, that's certainly not the case for everyone. And that brings me to a question I saw in a recent article. I'm single and childless. What happens to my Social Security when I pass? The short answer is nothing. The money would remain in the Social Security trust and ultimately redistributed to other recipients. Once you pass, there really are no unpaid benefits that are due to you outside of a one-time death benefit. So in this situation, you very well may have paid into a system and not received any benefits. If you had been married, Social Security does offer survivor benefits that could be available to your spouse, and I do have a full video that does a deep dive on that if you're interested in checking it out, and I will link it above and down below. But out of this question of what happens to my Social Security benefits when I pass, another question popped into my head. And that is, at what point do we receive more in terms of benefits from Social Security than what we've actually paid into the system? Because I think knowing the answer to this question can help us better understand the value of the program. Now, as I like to do, let's throw some numbers into the mix and see how this plays out. I want to run this scenario for two individuals. We'll do it for a modest income earner as well as a higher income earner. Please keep in mind that the numbers have been made a little bit more simple just for the context of a YouTube example. I do know that throughout the course of one's working career, our earnings tend to be dynamic. However, this is done to illustrate a concept rather than to provide an exact concrete picture of any one individual circumstance. Let's consider Ted, who earned $60,000 annually over a 35-year career. We're assuming that after adjusting for inflation, he consistently earned $60,000. As a full-time employee, he contributed 6.2% of his wages to Social Security, totaling $130,200 excluding employer contributions. Now, when it comes to Social Security, you can claim at any point between the ages of 62 and 70. If Ted were to claim Social Security early at the age of 62, he would receive an annual benefit amount of about $19,000. If he were to claim at full retirement age of 67, he would receive an annual benefit of about $28,000. And if he were to wait all the way until the age of 70 to claim, he would receive an annual benefit of about $34,000. In this case, Ted would have fully recouped everything he paid into Social Security by his late 60s or early to mid 70s, depending on when he started claiming. The good news here is for someone who is 65, the typical life expectancy is 85 years old. So if you make it to the age of 65, there's a good chance that you're going to recoup more than you've actually paid into the Social Security program. Let's consider a higher income earner. We'll consider Sam, who earned $120,000 a year over the course of a 35-year working career, and we'll assume that these numbers are inflation adjusted. During this time, Sam pays $260,400 into the Social Security system. Again, he is a regular employee, so his employer matches that same contribution, but that doesn't count towards Sam's contributions. If Sam were to claim early at 62, he would have an annual benefit of roughly $29,000. At full retirement age, his annual benefit would be about $42,000. And if he waited until the age of 70 to claim, his annual benefit would be about $52,000 a year. With these benefit amounts in mind, depending on when Sam claimed, he would recoup everything he paid into Social Security at some point in his early to mid-70s. Now, in either of these cases, Sam or Ted, if they had been self-employed, they might want to take a different perspective on this. They might want to look how much they contributed as both the employee and the employer, and this would essentially double the amount of time to get back what they paid into the system. If you claim early at the age of 62, you're going to receive a smaller benefit. If you delay claiming, you'll receive a larger benefit. So common sense says if you claim early, it's going to take a bit longer to recoup your total payments in terms of years taken to recoup those payments because you're receiving a smaller benefit. But you do have the perk that you're getting payments earlier. If you wait until 70 to start claiming, the total time it takes to recoup these payments from the time you start receiving benefits till the time you've received everything you've paid into the system would be a shorter duration because you're receiving a higher payout, but you don't get to receive benefits until a later age. So it depends on how you want to look at it. For the average person, it's going to take anywhere from 4 to 7 years to recoup everything they've paid into the system. For some people, that point would actually happen a little bit quicker. For some people, it might happen a little bit later, but this is a good general rule of thumb to go by. Social Security is progressive in nature. It is designed to replace a higher percentage of income for lower income earners. And because these benefits are proportionately higher for lower income earners tend to recoup their benefits they've paid into the system more quickly than higher income earners. It takes fewer benefit payouts for them to receive what they've paid into the system. A lower income earner might see anywhere from 50 to 70% of their income replaced by their Social Security benefits, where a higher income earner might only receive anywhere from 20 to 30% of their income replaced by Social Security benefits. So it takes longer and more benefit payouts for them to recoup what they've paid into the system. It's important to remember that Social Security only considers your 35 highest income earning years. If you have a longer working career, it can help to increase your Social Security benefits, but only from the stance that working more years gives you more opportunities to have higher income years. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Social Security is only going to use your 35 highest earning years. That's it. And if you have a longer working career, you end up paying more into the Social Security system, and ultimately it takes you more time to recoup the benefits you've paid in. The same idea kind of holds for higher income earners. If you have an income that is close to the maximum income subject to Social Security tax as of 25, that is $176,100, if you're riding close to this limit, you're on the high end of contributions, so it's going to take you longer to recoup what you pay in. So essentially, if you're working longer and earning more, there's a trade-off. Yes, you end up increasing your Social Security benefits, and that's great, but you will also shift the amount of time down the road that it takes for you to recoup the total benefits you paid into the system. Ultimately, you'll likely shift it a year or two down the road. So it's not usually a dramatic shift, but it is something to be aware of. If you have a spouse who's claiming benefits on your record, let's say one spouse was a homemaker and they get 50% of your benefits at their full retirement age, well, that does accelerate the break-even points because ultimately there's a higher benefit being paid out on your record. Social Security isn't just a check. It's a culmination of a lifetime of work and planning. And while most of us do receive more from the system than we've paid into it, when you claim does affect when this break-even point happens. Have you ever considered this? When do you think you're going to claim Social Security? How much do you think you've paid into Social Security thus far? Share your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey guys. I don't know why I can't even start ever. I think I can do this. Let's do it. Or any of your heirs. No, I shouldn't say that because there is a death benefit, but it's little. Somebody's gonna critique that. So change the phrasing. there's a death benefit. It takes fewer benefits for them to receive their total contributions. I think I can do this. I think this is the most important segment because this is the entire concept of the video, so don't mess it up.